Good evening, I'm Justin Betty. It's April 11th, but tomorrow starts off a stretch of 4 straight first alert weather days, driving us back into what will feel like winter. Xcel Energy says they have hundreds of employees ready to tackle any potential power outages in the region. Meanwhile, our first alert storm team is preparing as well. Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us now with your first look at the forecast. Hutch.
A good Monday it was for many of us, Justin. Thanks so much, and good evening to all of you. First alert weather days Tuesday through Friday, as Justin mentioned, 4 days in a row. Not all of us are going to see heavy snow for each and every day. Not all of us will get heavy snow. Between 40 and 50 counties get our signal here on Valley News Live, and we're going to take care of each and every one of you with the update that we have, a late update here on our system that is making its way over the Rockies now. New model data coming in right now. We see rain starting to develop in our southernmost counties in northern South Dakota by morning. Some of us will already see snow on the ground, and there'll be an impact in our region by the close of business tomorrow that will impact travel. There'll be blizzard conditions setting up and moving in this general direction. So we have some showers of rain along the South Dakota border starting to show up. Significant heavy snow, 18 plus inches. Now, it's not really a chance. There will be 18 or more inches in some of our counties the way things are looking. Gusty winds, 45 miles per hour or more. That means we will have blizzard conditions. There's the power outage potential as well. And you should be altering or changing your travel plans, or else just be prepared to be stuck somewhere if there's closures of interstates or roads in areas you plan to travel. So make sure that survival kit's in your vehicle. All right, we do have that chance for some closures to roads or schools, and also newborn livestock. Do your best to, well, protect them. Rising river levels at the post of this system are something we'll be watching as well. This is by tomorrow late evening. And check out these snowfall totals already. 0, Fargo and Point South and East, with mainly just rain throughout the day, maybe even rumbles of thunder. 1 to 4 northern Minnesota. Then a rapid increase as we go from Fargo into Cass County. A rapid increase. We could see upwards of 5 to 7 inches of snow for portions of Cass County, and models now indicating that we could already have a foot of snow, maybe more, in a few places. Not everybody's getting 18 where you see on the map. We're not getting 18 in Fargo tomorrow. When does it start? Hour by hour details on our entire area through the progression of the entire storm, the way it looks now. New information from earlier tonight as well, Justin.
All right, thanks, Hutch. With things changing the way they can, make sure you have that VNL weather app handy so you can get forecasts right at your fingertips. It's free in the App Store. Just search VNL Weather. Continuing coverage now on a potentially armed and dangerous man. Police are still looking for a man suspected in a shooting on 11th Avenue in Pelican Rapids. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office says Futhasa Prathane is believed to be driving a black 2011 Toyota Tundra pickup with Minnesota plates. If you see him, they say do not approach him, just call 911. 3 men have now been charged in the brutal beating of a 20-year-old man outside a Grafton bar. We were the first to bring you the story of Curtis Graver, what he calls a senseless act of violence. Now, Jacob, and Cristobal Garza have been arrested for felony aggravated assault. Documents say the 3 pulled Graver out of his vehicle and beat him. Police haven't said what they think led to that beating. New tonight, here's some video you don't see every day. Check it out. A driver suspected of being under the influence crashes into a box truck on a North Metro overpass in Spring Lake Park outside the Twin Cities this afternoon. And as you see, it causes a fiery crash. This is all on MN.dot camera footage. Both drivers are hurt, but their injuries are described as non-life-threatening. State Patrol is still investigating. New tonight, the Paradiso Mexican restaurant in Fargo is now back open after a fire tore through last month, causing about $150,000 in damage. And tonight, the restaurant showed their gratitude for the first responders that helped save it. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor has more.
It felt like my home was on fire. I've been there for 41 years.
Manager and longtime employee of the Paradiso Mexican restaurant, Becky Cody, says it was difficult watching the business go up in flames last month.
It was surreal is the word.
And as the fire was happening, a list of concerns began circulating through her mind.
I thought, what if the restaurant's severely damaged? What if it burns down? What are we going to do? Are we going to rebuild? What is everybody going to do for jobs?
But now these are no longer worries, thanks to Fargo firefighters. To show their appreciation, Cody and the Paradiso restaurant family treated about 30 of these first responders to a special meal.
It's a great surprise. We don't expect anything when we go to these runs, and it's a nice surprise to have somebody bring in supper for us.
Captain Matt Brand was one of the many firefighters that responded to the call. He says although they were just doing their job, there's a sense of pride knowing another business was saved.
Anytime we can make a difference, that's our jobs. Our job is to make a difference in the community, so anytime we can save some people's businesses or homes, it goes a long way.
Cody says everyone at Paradiso will be forever grateful, but she hopes their effort to give back inspires others to show their appreciation for first responders.
I think we should thank our police and thank our firefighters every single day. I don't know if people realize what they did for us that day. They saved our restaurant, basically.
In Fargo, Nisha Taylor, Valley News Live.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation, but there is speculation from the fire marshal it could be electrical. A former assistant track and cross-country coach at Oak Grove will now have to register as a sex offender and spend time in jail after being convicted of child porn charges. 35-year-old Daniel Stowa was sentenced to 60 days behind bars, followed by 2 years supervised probation. He could serve up to 3 years behind bars. Authorities say Stowa admitted to being the account owner of a Twitter page where provocative images of children were uploaded. The West Fargo man accused of throwing a deadly punch that killed a father of 6 is now pleaded guilty. 36-year-old Tomas Cervantes pleaded guilty to felony manslaughter in the death of 53-year-old Roberto Balboa. Police say the assault happened last August at a concert at the Speedway Event Center in West Fargo. Cervantes' sentencing date has not yet been set. New tonight, Moorhead residents could pay about $25 more per year on average if a new sales tax goes through. It's according to a study the University of Minnesota's Extension Center presented tonight to the Moorhead City Council. Back in January, City Council voted unanimously to put a question on the ballot in November that would add a 0.5% sales tax to help finance a new public library and community center. The study also found about 30% of the sales taxes paid are by non-city residents, visitors to the area. Adding a Moorhead resident would pay on average about $2 more per month in additional sales tax. Meanwhile, the Moorhead School Board is approving new boundaries. The board, they're looking to alleviate capacity issues at elementary schools in the south and east sides of the city. They say about 280 students would be impacted by the change. That'll start this fall. We have the map and the new boundaries on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. A Minnesota judge heard arguments today on whether to allow live video coverage of the upcoming trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged with aiding and abetting the murder of George Floyd. Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill allowed live audio-visual coverage of ex-officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial last year, making an exception to the normal rules of court. He must now decide whether to allow that same sort of access for the trial of 3 other officers set to start in June. Chauvin's trial was the first in Minnesota to be entirely televised from jury selection to conviction. Today marks 1 year since the deadly shooting of Dante Wright by then Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter. Heidi Wigdahl spoke to his family today and shows us how he's being remembered.
In Brooklyn Center, as time spins forward, 1 year later, signs of where Dante Wright took his last breaths remain.
I can't believe it's already been a year. People say it gets easy and it hasn't yet.
April 11th, 2021, then Officer Kim Potter shot and killed Dante during a traffic stop. Potter said she mistakenly drew her gun instead of a taser. Dante was 20 years old.
Just walking down the street and seeing some kid that looks like him from behind is hard. I would say out of a whole 24 hours, I think of him at least 19 hours of that, even in my sleep when I'm dreaming about him, just wishing that we still had him.
Katie Wright, Dante's mom, continues to advocate for change. Last May, Brooklyn Center City Council passed the Dante Wright and Kobe Dimmick Heisler Community Safety and Violence Prevention Act.
The main goal is to keep communities safe, and use police where they need to be used and use other resources to alleviate that part of policing with like traffic stops and mental health crisis.
Police had pulled Dante over for having expired tabs and an air freshener on his rearview mirror. Now Katie is on the committee helping change the city's approach to public safety.
It's bigger than Dante. It's bigger than Minnesota, and that fight will never quit until we don't have to be in the predicament that our families have been in.
Katie often returns to the Dante Wright Memorial. She's working with the city on a more permanent memorial for the space.
It brings back a lot of bad memories. I sat there for 6 hours watching my son's body lay on the ground. So it's hard, but I feel most connected to him there as well.
With plans to come back here 1 year later, not to mourn, but to celebrate his life.
He wouldn't want us to sit around and cry. He would definitely want us to celebrate.